I'm going to officially introduce Jolene and Mo, and if there's anything else you guys want to add, you're welcome to after that, and we'll let you take the floor once I'm done. I just wanted to remind everyone that we will have a Q&A session after the presentation. So as they go through their presentation, please come up with any questions that you have, post them in the chat, either to everybody or directly to me. I'm listed as BYU Management Society, and then we can ask those questions at the end. Okay, so let me introduce Jolene Smock. Jolene is originally from Houston, which we've gathered. There's some Texas people. She came to Utah to attend school at Brigham Young University. She graduated from BYU in the Experience Design and Management program. Jillian is currently a sales recruiter at Podium, but also helps out with Podium's internship program and campus recruitment. She's been at Podium since January of 2020 and has loved every minute of it and enjoys sharing her love for Podium. Fun fact, she loves all things red velvet. She could have Taco Bell every meal of the day and loves to sing and dance every chance she gets. And Mo Tompkins, Mo's a technical recruiter at Podium, focusing on product design and moonlighting some software engineering roles and loving it. Previous to this, he worked in arts, administration, and retail management. Fun fact, he likes horror movies, comic books, and Trader Joe's. So we'll go ahead and let Jolene and Mo take over. And I've got to give you some access here, and you should be good to go.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for having us. We're super excited. And it's so fun to kind of get to meet everyone. I feel like whenever you have these events, you don't necessarily get to go individually and talk about yourself a little bit. So it's fun to kind of meet everyone. And thank you so much for joining. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So as Sarah said, my name is Jolene, and I help recruit for our sales team here. And I've been here for about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. I forget it's August. This year has just gone by so quickly, but definitely very exciting. Love being here and things are good. Okay, let's go ahead. Whoops.
There we go.
Okay. Cool. So I guess we don't necessarily need to do much of an introduction since Sarah already gave a quick introduction, unless you want to add anything about
No, I'm good. That was perfect.
Mo is amazing. I'm so glad that he was able to join us today. And the fun fact about him loving Trader Joe's is totally true.
Yeah.
I love it. I feel like he shared so many fun products. And I still have yet to try them, but I really should.
It's the best. I used to work there. If you have any Trader Joe's questions, I'm happy to answer. But at the end, I know all the good stuff.
Perfect. Okay, so since we couldn't actually come into the office, we just did a quick video of a very unprofessional, but just a quick tour to kind of show you a little more. So let me go ahead and pull that up. And tell me if you guys can hear it. I don't know if it's. Can you hear that? Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mo Tompkins. I'll be guiding you through this tour of Podium, starting with the exterior here. That tree is there for scale, but its perspective's a little off. Just, bear with us. This is the exterior of the first building. Exterior of the second. They look like little twins. Pardon me if anybody's getting motion sickness. I apologize. We ballin'. We got 2 buildings, 5 floors each. I'm gonna give you a tour of the first floor of our main HQ1. Let's go in. All right. This is the main our front desk. Good morning, Keisha. So we're walking through here. There's this is the, man, I haven't given one of these in so long, actually. This is the Delta Center. This is where we hold all of our like big events. We got stairs here, kind of a sweet hipster loft setup. And this is where like the execs for our CEO will come and do their like Steve Jobs thing, just a little less pretentious. But we'll have like town halls in here and they'll give product updates. You know, they'll go over like board meeting stuff, anything that's kind of important and relevant to the company at large. Oh, state-of-the-art Coca-Cola machines, fridge full of rock stars, monsters, and Red Bulls, coffee machine, snacks. This is the cafeteria where we eat, we cafeteate, I think. Second entrance, there used to be an N64 over there that was plugged in. We used to play old school Smash. That's our facilities team loading up our fridges. Pretty sweet. There's like a ton of free food here. If there's nothing else you're gonna get, it's the amount of free food that we have here. Literally, we've got like chimichangas, enchiladas, hummus, celery sticks, yogurts, you name it, we probably have it. Also more snacks. Ping pong tables to burn off all that energy. And there's something, yeah, back there, there's a foosball table. Alrighty. I'm gonna take y'all back now, double back. This is our, like, not the actual swag shop, but the showroom. We've got like bags, shirts. I think we had like branded Nikes at one point, all pretty cool. Oh my God, it's Jolene. Jolene. I'm showing our friends around the building.
Oh, perfect.
I'll let you get settled. That was Jolene, obviously. Here's our gym, state of the art. Let me see if I can get us in here. Bam. So this is a state-of-the-art CrossFit gym. Our CEO and the co-founder, like super big CrossFit guys. So they've got like, and man, I don't know. I don't work out a ton, but like that's a machine. That's a machine. Some rings. You get it. But there are classes held here. I want to say we're getting back to classes almost every day, before and after work, totally free. You can come and participate. We have an actual like real CrossFit instructor come and give them. They also do yoga here middays, most days. But yeah, other than that, you just like pop in, use the gym whenever. I'm trying to think, is there anything else cool that I can show you guys? I haven't done one of these in a minute. No, I think that's about it for the first floor anyway. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you in a minute, I guess.
So this is just so fun because Mo is just awesome giving these tours. And it was just like a nice way. Sorry, it was not as professional, but just a fun way to kind of like show you a little more of the office and everything that we have here. One thing that we didn't showcase is that we recently opened up a in-house daycare, which is in our second building. And I mean, if you take a look, I have a few pictures later on in the presentation that kind of just show the daycare, but lots of fun things happening. We're constantly growing and it is fun to kind of be in the building. Some of our teams are back in the building or back in the office. I know at least the sales side, we are back in the office full time, and then we're slowly bringing back other departments in more of a hybrid type role or completely remote role. So super exciting. Also, I just want to make sure you guys can't see like my Zoom information, right? Just so that it's not in the way. Okay, cool. Oops. Okay, so if you want, we can.
Oh, yeah. So the Podium Story. I suppose sometimes I'm doing like candidate calls and I always like to tell people kind of how it all started. This is all easily Googleable and verifiable information, but I kind of like to put my own little spin on it. So Podium was founded 7 years ago, back in 2014. It all started with a tire shop in Canada. If the legends are to be believed, one of our founders, Eric Ray, his father owned a tire shop. And one day he comes to Eric and he says, hey, I'm an older man. I'm not like hip with all of this, the tech stuff. I've got these, I need help with my Google reviews, my Facebook reviews. And they had this idea, Eric says, well, father, well, papa, if you were to send, these social media reviews via a text message instead of an email, which is the way most businesses were doing it at that time, generally you'll get, more favorable reviews, you'll get faster responses, and, your better reviews will kind of outpace your more negative reviews. And the Podium was kind of born out of that one very simple idea, this kind of like text message based interaction management, if you will. You fast forward 7 years later, here we are today. Podium, their first office was above a bike shop, actually. It was just like a handful of guys. Today we've got 2 buildings where we're based here in Lehigh, right off of I-15. We're sitting just north of like 1,100 employees, I want to say. We've got the main team here in Lehigh, Utah, but we also have a splinter sales team in Brazil. We have a sales org in Australia, and we also have 2 offshore customer service teams in the Middle East and Latin America, if I'm remembering correctly. And we're going to dig into the products a little more on the next slide, but we've expanded our offerings hugely, very, very bigly.
Yeah.
We can tell them a little bit about that. Oh, actually, first a video.
Okay, I don't know if I have the link.
There we go.
It all started with a tire shop that was struggling to compete online. One of the biggest problems was collecting the reviews needed to show up where it mattered. Customers were willing to leave reviews, they just needed a more convenient way to do it. So we made it as easy as sending a text. It worked better than anyone had anticipated. This was our light bulb moment, and it unlocked so many more things that we could do for local businesses. Scheduling a dental cleaning? Just send a text. Curious if a dealership has the car you're looking for? Just send a text. Whether a customer connects from Facebook, Google, or text, with Podium Messenger, every interaction comes into a single inbox. Customers now had a convenient way to connect from almost anywhere online except for a business's website, which led to web chat, a new kind of chat tool for websites that help businesses capture more leads. It's a simple, easy to install button that starts the conversation online and then immediately takes it to text so it can continue without being tied down to a computer. Through texting, businesses are able to get unprecedented response rates. So naturally, they started using Podium to gather real-time insights from customers. We built Podium Feedback to streamline and analyze that information so businesses can quickly and confidently take action to improve. Not only do these products deliver a dramatically more convenient experience, they also deliver more customers, more revenue, and more growth. From the first tire shop to now over 25,000 businesses, we've seen again and again that convenience wins.
How do we get out of here?
I know.
Oh, there we go.
Oops.
Close that out. Just some technical difficulties, pardon us.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
So that was, you just heard our old CPO, actually, a gentleman named Josh Penrod, who he's gone on to greener pastures. We still loved using that video because he's an absolute giant of a human being and has like a super deep voice. He has just, I think, that great gravitas. Our new CPO is a man named John Foreman from MailChimp, who's also like a genuinely like amazing human being. But yeah, Jolene, I can dig into the product lineup if you like, or if you want to take that.
Yeah, I'll take it, and then feel free to add because I feel you have a better understanding working with the product team and everything. But as Mo mentioned, that video is a little outdated. We have kind of come out with a few other products since that video was made, and we are currently in the process of updating it with all the new fun perks and everything that we are working on. But just to highlight a few of the different products, I think we've been averaging like a product or 2 each year since we started.
Yeah.
So lots of growth opportunities and lots of success with these different products. And so how we started in that video, we started out as a review platform, and how that works, it's a textable link sent to customers, allowing customers to leave a review online and making it super seamless for customers to leave a review. And then from there, the companies can then manage those reviews through the Podium platform instead of having to sign into their Facebook or Google account or another review site account. They can manage it. It pulls it all into the Podium platform, and then they can manage it there. So pretty straightforward, super easy. And then as the video mentioned, we have our web chat, team chat, and like feedback tools. So feedback is also, again, a text messaging product that helps build or helps companies identify different pain points that customers are facing and to then be able to improve. Web chat helps generate leads from their website. And then team chat is kind of like a Slack, an internal Slack. I don't know if you're familiar with Slack, but it's just an internal chat option or chat product for employees to kind of use within the Podium platform. So they don't have to hop on different softwares. They can do everything and all things in the Podium platform. And then with payments and card reader, this is super exciting for us because we launched payments right before the pandemic in February of 2020. And we were so excited for this. And then the pandemic hit. And we were like, oh my goodness, like we just launched this new product. What are we going to do? But it actually has been very successful, to say the least, given being in a pandemic, because now how this works, it's a textable link sent to customers, allowing customers to pay for a product or service through Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, or one of the other means of like paying through your phone through a quick, like short textable link. And it all is secure and safe to do so versus having to call the company, give your credit card information over the phone, having them write it down or whatever it may be. It's just easy, like, hey, here's the link, pay through Apple Pay or whatever. And since then, we have kind of expanded that product into our payments card reader, which is now a physical object that, and you might have a better understanding of card reader, but it's a physical object that companies can now have implemented in their storefront. That integrates with the Podium platform. Do you have any?
Oh, yeah.
Card reader?
Yeah, so the card reader, it's not, I don't know, like what the phase, I wouldn't call like, it's not quite, it's out of beta, but it's not like widely accessible just yet. But we've sent out some field teams to kind of go into the field and like test it with our customers, and the feedback has just been like absolutely amazing. We're super excited, like especially this payments piece is so important. It's like, I can't like overstate how successful it's been. It's kind of, I feel like we're at the point where we're like, are we going to be like business communications? Are we just going to be a fintech? Like, it's like insane how much growth potential payments has.
Yeah, it's super exciting. 2021, we kind of went the ground running and focused on the payment side of the business, as Mo said. And so lots of success there and hopefully continuing to expand that. But then just a few more, we have the inbox, which kind of house all the messaging products and all the different conversations that you have with different companies. And then video chat and campaigns, like video chat is obvious what it is. You get that face-to-face interaction with different individuals. And then campaigns just helps with like promotional marketing efforts.
Yeah. And on top of that, we also have, we kicked off, so like our Podium's goal is to own end-to-end communications for all of our customers and clientele, who are like mostly small and medium-sized businesses, SMB, lots of mom and pops. To that end, we kicked off a voice product just a little earlier this year. It's still in its infancy, but it's like again, just like so much potential. You know, it's kind of funny. We started with like the text message, and like we started with the most like tech forward interface with being texting, and we're like working backwards through email, and finally we're like, oh, like it might be a good idea to have people be able to just like, you know, pick up a phone and talk to each other. We also have a really cool, it's called Podium Starter. It's kind of like our self-serve freemium platform. It's working out some things, but it's kind of like, you know, Podium Lights. The idea is that, you know, eventually customers will be able to, you know, sign up for like the starter version on their own and kind of test it and trial it. And then if they like it, they can, you can sign up for, you can kind of mix and match whether you want reviews or like, oh, I do want the premium web chat. Yeah, give that over. Yeah, so our product offerings are absolutely insane.
Yeah, so many, and we are just constantly growing. And with growth comes new opportunities for our employees as well to kind of take on new projects, to learn something new and kind of build a team kind of thing. So lots of fun, exciting things happening here. Perfect. So if you want, we can chat about the culture and different awards happening. Or actually, I'll let you take the next slide and then I'll talk.
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool. So as I mentioned, lots of exciting things happening here at Podium. These are just a few awards, and we have a few more as well that aren't listed here. Again, a little outdated, so I do apologize, but we have been recognized for one of the fastest growing companies in Utah and in the nation, which is super exciting to kind of see and be recognized for. We have also been recognized for best workplaces for 4 years, as you can see. And then we also have gained a spot on Forbes Cloud 100 list for the most innovative and successful companies 3 years in a row.
Including this year.
Including this year. So very exciting time to kind of be at Podium because of those different awards, those recognitions, those growth opportunities, as I mentioned. And just company culture is awesome. And so we'll kind of dive a little more into that company culture, what our values are, and a few of the fun perks that we have going on.
Oh, yeah. All right. Podium clubs and perks, so it's, I guess when you think like, technology companies, like what comes to mind? Probably like pinball machines and ping pong and we definitely have all that stuff, the bells and whistles and people riding around like segways and things. But we've got a couple of clubs here and also ancillary perks I just want to kind of touch on. We have several like diversity clubs that are like hugely active and absolutely amazing. We have we have a women well, I guess the Women in Sales Club, and that's also kind of a wing of like, there's like a more general like Women at Podium, which is super cool. We have a BIPOC club, Black, Indigenous, People of Color, and we also have Pride at Podium, just for LGBTQIA+, the whole rainbow spectrum. And each month, each of these clubs puts on different events. There's community outreach. We partner with outside organizations. We bring in speakers. We do community service. It's like, it's the best. If that's something that's important to you, like, yeah, this makes Podium like a good place to be.
And we have some of the best just like supporters, individuals, like leadership for these clubs. And it's just fun to kind of see Podium rally together to like support these different clubs and fun stuff.
Yeah. And as a recruiter, on phone calls with candidates, I hear this come up more and more often, this kind of wanting for, diverse workplaces. People just, you want to work with people who are different than you. And like Podium, that's where we're striving to become a place where you can, like, you walk down the hall and you see people who are different than you. There's also the
daycare. Yeah, so in the middle, I should have included more pictures just because it's just so fun. But we recently opened this daycare in office. It's actually in our second building on the first floor. It is subsidized for all Podium employees. And so you can have different packages of like 2 to 3 days a week or a full week or part days, or just like kind of a walk-in type package. So lots of different fun things. And I mean, I don't have any kids, but from what I hear, all the employees that are using it, their kids love it. And it is through Bright Horizons, which is a huge, like, great daycare here in Utah. And so they kind of manage it, make sure that we have the snacks, the food, the learnings, the trainings. And it goes up to 5 years old, I believe. So I think I don't know, 3 months, I think, to about 5 years. And so lots of fun things happening on that side. And it's actually cool that we get this because ever since we built our building, our CEO, Eric, has always wanted an in-house daycare. He really values the women of Podium, and just the diversity that Podium has and is continuing to grow. And so it's fun that we actually see this vision come to life, right? Lots of works happening in the works, or lots of things in the works, but glad to finally have it there. And then just a few other fun perks that we have. We have lunches on Wednesdays, free lunches. As Mo mentioned in our quick little building tour, we have food galore. We always have food. So Podium 15 pounds is definitely a thing. You think freshman 15 in college is a thing? Podium 15 is also a thing. So you're just gaining weight the older you get. So lots of food, lots of fun activities that we have. Like on the right, you see a guy with a dog. We had pet day. So those who had pets could bring in their pets and get a quick little photo shoot, a treat, whatever it may. We have some teams doing like softball, soccer, other like fun team activities outside of the work.
We did a fear factor challenge.
Oh yeah, Mo and I wish I put in a video, but we actually put on a fear factor challenge just a few months ago where we had people submit videos. We had people, Mo's wife did eating a live worm, which was crazy, but she won. And then we had a live event where they ate a bunch of crickets. They held a big snake. And so it was super fun to kind of just have these different events happening. We also had a 5K here around the office that another team kind of put on. So lots of fun things. And I actually kind of want to show you here. Oops. Why is this not? Okay. A quick video that I created, just personal use. That was my 2020 year in a second, and so this is just a fun thing to kind of show. Oh, where is it? Oh no, did it go away? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay.
People up!
Talent pool. Ferris.
I think I'm a believer. Oh, yeah.
I'm with you.
So Jolene Smock. Keeping up with the chat. Nice, Jolene! We'll just kind of run through. We made it!
You did a lot that year.
I know, it was so fun, just kind of seeing all of that. Whoops, here I go again. It's fun to just kind of see everything that happened. You can see what happened when we went from in-person to virtual. We still did a lot of events because, it's important to kind of keep that company culture alive. And we can talk more on the values next, but it is just kind of fun to have those different opportunities, the lip sync battles, the family feud that you saw. What were a few other things? Oh, Mo hosted a cooking class or a virtual scavenger hunt. And so it's fun to kind of see the impact that Podium really just tries to make it fun for the employees. And it is one of our values. So I'll have Mo touch on the different values that we have.
Right. So our company culture is basically based on these these three major tenets. If you're like me, cultural tenets are super important. They're the bedrock of any good company, and kind of the reason why a company they can make or break a company very easily. Part of the reason I love Trader Joe's so much was literally their cultural tenets were absolutely amazing, and it's the reason I love Podium. So our first one, be a founder. Podium likes to empower everyone, whether you're a junior, intern level, whatever, all the way up to the CEO. If you see something wrong or something that could be made more efficient, do it. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to like just, if you want to make the company better, like please, by all means, like, we all kind of share ownership in this kind of rocket ship that is Podium. And to this end, actually, if any of you are interested in applying, there's usually like we're a pre-IPO company. We do give equity for like certain positions. So that be a founder thing is like taken even more so literally in a lot of cases around here. Our second tenet is murder drama. It sounds worse than it is, but we just in terms there's no office politics, no backstabbing, no like none of this schoolyard stuff. If you have an issue with somebody, like you can address it to them in a polite and respectful way. You don't run around to the manager and say so-and-so's doing this. Like you talk to so-and-so, and it keeps everybody cool. It keeps everybody happy. It just makes such a difference. And our third tenet, which Jolene was like, I feel like you like just exude this. Enjoy the ride. Obviously, it's a very much like a work hard, play hard sort of thing. Work is work. It's not always fun, but we're here 40 hours a week. Shouldn't we enjoy like a little bit of it, or at least like look forward to coming in? Right.
I agree.
So yeah, like we try to have fun. We get our work done, but we do holiday parties. We've got like tons of I guess untracked, unlimited PTO, food galore, like all sorts of team little like excursions, offsites, trips.
Holiday break or the summer break.
Oh yeah, we have a week-long summer break where like all of Podium is shut down for this entire week. Which if you've ever been on vacation, you're probably checking your emails and your messages because there's stuff going on like in the background. But for this week, the entire company shuts, like there is nothing happening. It is the most free. I feel like a kid who's been on summer break because I don't have to check anything. It's amazing. And also we have a similar setup towards the end of the year. There's a few stipulations around that, but typically like the winter break is also a similar deal. We just, we shut down, everybody goes home to their families. You're not checking emails, you're not checking messages, and you come back in January just refreshed and ready to tackle the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and pretty simple, 3 basic tenets. As long as we all abide by them, we're all happy. And I will say, like, I don't think I've met one mean person here, to be honest. I guess we're recruiters. Maybe I'm biased, but I feel like we do a really good job of just hiring the right people. So.
And we had a question, what's Podium's work style policy currently? Are people allowed to work 100% remotely or hybrid? So it really depends on the position. I know the sales team, we are currently 100% in the office. Granted, like we have some reps, depending on like if you're an SDR versus an account executive, we have some work 100% remotely. For the most part, a lot of us are hybrid. Like our people ops team is a hybrid, like 2 to 3 days in the office kind of hybrid role. How is it on the technical engineering?
Oh yeah, so R&D, you're talking like software engineers, product designers, product managers. They are remote first. So we're on the R&D side, we're hiring like across the country. A good chunk of the team is fully remote, and those that are kind of local to Utah, they're like they pop in maybe once a week, but if they never wanted to come in, they don't have to, because if we tried to make them, they would riot and then leave.
But no, I mean, as you can see, it is fun to be in the office. And so Podium is very flexible on like your schedule, what you're most comfortable with, and just very willing to kind of work with how you see best, right? And what is most comfortable with for you.
That's one of the coolest things about working here. There's so little bureaucracy. I talk to candidates sometimes and I say, hey, like if you want to take, a week off, you talk to your manager and you make a calendar event. That's literally, you don't have to run to HR. You don't have to like submit the time and wait for it to get, it's just like everything in this company is as easy as just talk to your manager or talk to your supervisor. Done.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. Perfect. And so let's just go ahead and, since we're talking about different positions, let's go ahead and touch on the different opportunities that we have and how like the interview process kind of goes. So again, it really is just dependent on the position. As I mentioned, sales is in the office. And so how the interviews kind of go, we do have a lot of different sales positions available. We have like our SDRs, which is more of an entry-level sales position. We have our AEs, which you're in a closing role now. We have a few like sales operations or sales analyst type roles that are available. We actually have one opening up, a data analyst for our sales team, sales operations team, opening up sometime this year, within the next few months or so. And so lots of different opportunities happening here, and how those different interviews work is with our sales team specifically, like the customer facing type roles. We would love for you to come into the office, see the building, get a tour, and then meet with a team. So it's about a 30 minutes to about an hour interview where you'll like do a pitch kind of thing. Granted, we'll give you all the resources and the information that you'll need. But that's kind of how the interviews kind of work. It's a quick turnaround, typically on the entry level, more on the entry level side. You're looking at a week-long turnaround. So pretty fast with an answer. And then the higher you get in the sales org, it is a little longer, but we typically try to not keep it or have it more than 2 to 3 weeks.
Excellent. And on the technical side, I mean, I guess right now we're looking for a lot of senior talent in like full stack front end. Well, I guess our technical stack, I know there's a few, software engineers kind of listing here today. On the front end, we do a lot of work in the React framework, and on the back end, it's a lot of Elixir and Ruby, PostgreSQL. But yeah, like product design, product management, we're hiring in IT, BizEps as well. If you go down to podium.com/careers, you can see everything, the whole enchilada, what we're looking for. And feel free, you can reach out to either of us on LinkedIn. We'd be happy to, kind of talk to you and connect to you and kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and feel free to also even like look up different positions that are at Podium and connect with different individuals to kind of see, hey, like, do you have a few minutes to let me pick your brain? I applied for this position and I'd love to learn more. They are very willing. Most people, I mean, granted, depending on the position and everything, lots of people are busy, but for the most part, they are willing to help you. And feel free to reach out to us, as Mo said, like we are happy to connect you to the right individuals or answer any questions that you might have about any positions. But like, I think within the last year, even during the pandemic, I'm trying to think how many people we hired just within the last like 6 months. Because when the year started, we were below 1,000 and now we're a little over 1,100. So we've hired a lot of people and we're just continuing that trajectory of growing. I don't know the goal of, and do you know how many people we want to hire by the end of the year?
Not totally. I just know it's going to be a ton.
Yeah, so feel free to always just keep an eye on our careers page. And for the most part, like a position will definitely come up with internships. I know a lot of you are in school. So depending on the internship, sometimes we'll have MBA internships. We'll have just undergrad internships. That's more common than the MBA, but we do get the occasional MBA internships, but they typically come out for summers. It's typically October to December timeframe that they show up on our careers page, but sometimes we'll get the one-offs of like fall, spring kind of internships. And those are, it's hard to say because they kind of show up. So we aren't necessarily planning on it, but do keep an eye out and then apply to the internships and reach out to us if you have any questions. Okay, so
I think we're gonna do questions after the.
Okay.
Well, there we go. All right. Cool.
Okay, is Podium planning on hiring software interns for summer 2022?
Yeah.
gonna
Oh
say,
yeah,
you probably have
100%. Yeah, definitely. We usually, like Jolene said, we usually start posting those a little closer to the end of the year, like that kind of fourth quarter, early Q1. You'll start seeing those pop up.
Yeah, and sometimes like with Mo's, I mean, he hired for that position. And so like how with engineers, like we always need engineers being a tech company or a software company. And so I think we went from like 5 interns at the beginning to like 15, 20, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes they'll need it more. So even if you miss that October, December timeframe, sometimes they'll be like they might want more interns during the, when were you notified? March, April?
Yeah, they just find extra budget. They just kind of pull it out of nowhere,
So Okay. Next question. Oh, do you also post your internships and jobs on Handshake? So for the most part, we do try to post our entry-level internships, jobs that are closer to like hiring out of your
Directly out of college.
yeah, directly out of college. On Handshake, not all of our positions are there, and sometimes we don't always post on Handshake. It really depends on the bandwidth and everything, because like depending on the internship, on the position, we do get a lot of applicants, but for the most part, we try our best to post on Handshake. What are your biggest reasons for turnover, burnout for SDRs? What about your sales organization overall? This is a great question. So I can help answer that unless you want to take it on.
Sales is all of you.
So I think not necessarily like burnout. I think it's just with like turnover. I think the biggest challenge that I see for our sales like SDR team is just the grind and grit that it comes with it. Like sales is a numbers game. So you are expected to make like 60 dials a day, plus depending on how hard you choose to like work and how much you want to exceed quota for the month. But I feel that's probably the hardest, is people not knowing what it takes to kind of like really be in sales, or not wanting to put in the time and effort, right? And so, I mean, for the most part, like, as I mentioned, sales is a numbers game. So those who are going to put in the time, put in the numbers, like you are going to kind of get that return, right? And hit those quotas, hit those closed deals, whatever it may be. So I feel that's probably like the biggest challenge. And granted, the market is super intense. So sometimes like people will also leave for like other tech startups, like they've kind of grown within the company and they want to kind of grow within another company. We're kind of in that stage where we're not public yet. Hopefully we can go public within the next year or two, but we're kind of that bigger tech startup where people want more of like a 30 employee type position. And so just lots of opportunities out there as well. Oh, and then sales organization overall. I might be a little biased, but I love working with our sales team. They are amazing, especially with our SDRs. Just to tell you a little more about that, we have launched multiple like trainings and resources to make sure that you are successful. So like we have a 2-week onboarding training. First week is kind of a virtual, gives you the basics of Podium, of the team, of just different basic things. And then the next week it's like hands-on. And so you get from those 2 onboarding weeks, you have monthly like company-wide SDR trainings with our VP of sales development. You get weekly one-on-ones with your team manager. You also get weekly call shadow recordings. And so just lots of trainings and lots of resources to kind of really help you succeed. And so we do, again, just kind of going back to that first question, like it is your efforts and we give you the resources, we give you everything that you need. It's just how hard you're going to kind of put in that effort, you know? So. Okay, are internships paid? Yes. Yeah, I think on average, our internship, well, at least other than engineering, I don't know how much engineering, but for the most part, it's a 16 an hour for just like undergrad. MBA internships are a little higher, but I don't know how.
Yeah, engineering is also a little higher. We pay pretty competitively for the market, you know, so. Perfect.
Ooh, which is your most popular product or package? Ooh, that's hard question.
Funny story actually. Last year, you know, the height of the pandemic, other tech companies were like laying people off and like everything. Nobody knew what was going on. Podium was so amazing. They didn't lay anybody off. They reallocated resources. So we were on a bit of a hiring pause. So Jolene and I got to work with customer onboarding and learn even more about the product. In my time there, I was there for about 6 months and like, I was just happy to have a job, honestly. I would say probably the reviews at least from what I saw, was easily like the biggest thing. Most people were just very, very concerned with that, the social media aspect. You know, you don't like, nobody likes Googling their business and saying like, you know, the two Google stars out of 5. That was almost always like, at least in my case, like the biggest thing.
Yeah, I probably would agree. I mean, that is our bread and butter product.
Yeah.
That's how Podium kind of started. But like, as I mentioned, payments is doing super well. And so that's kind of a huge focus on getting more people to kind of, our goal is actually to like have 100% of people using our payments tool. And so I assume that will probably be a part of our package deals and products, like moving forward, is just really offering that and having people use it. So
Can I follow up with your payments thing? Like,
Sure.
how do you convince customers or clients that it's secure?
yeah, so we do have a few documents that kind of like show that like, hey, like we are, I don't know all the legal logistics, but we are this secure, or like we have this security, we use this kind of thing to make sure that it is secure. And so that's kind of like just those documents and everything. And like now with our payments card reader, I think it's also a little easier for people to kind of trust to use it. And so I hope that answers your question. I don't know.
No, I'm not super technical when it comes to that.
Cool. Another question. Are the fully remote software engineers mostly in Utah, or do they have the freedom to live anywhere in the US?
Yeah, so software engineers, they're totally free to live anywhere in the US. Again, the entire R&D org is remote first. I mean, just for our CTO right now, he's in Austin right now to give you an idea. And those I feel like right now we're probably at about like maybe a 60-40 split for people in Utah, and then people kind of in the further. But there's like, I feel like every week I'm hearing about another engineer who's like, oh, like I'm moving to Texas, or I'm moving to the East Coast, and it's totally fine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yep. Okay, next question. How long are the internship opportunities? Can students extend internship? So it really depends, again, on the internship. We have some that are kind of ongoing until a position opens up on the team that we can then offer full-time positions. Sometimes we'll have the 10 to 12 week internship program. We have a lot of our interns ending next week, their internship. They started in May, ends in August. So really depends on when you start, how long.
And also the company needs.
It's
not unheard of for a student to extend an internship by a few weeks, or even like sometimes they'll transition to part-time work. It kind of just depends on like the needs of the company, what our budget looks like. But yeah, no, that's something, it does happen.
Yeah, we actually had a few people extend their internships as well for the like fall semester to December, and then we'll reevaluate what happens then. But yeah, lots of different opportunities in different situations. Okay, asking, as an international student, does Podium plan to sponsor work visas for technical full-time positions?
Man, I hope so. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like we lose out on so much good talent because Podium, we're not in a position right now where we can sponsor. We're just waiting. We need to get a little bigger. I think post IPO. So you're probably a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And yeah, single tier.
I know.
We probably will, but not just yet. And I'm sorry for that.
Okay, what experience and or characteristics do you value in an SWE intern?
Cool.
In a new grad?
Software engineers. So definitely like familiarity with our stack is a good one. I would say, so if we're hiring for like an entry level or an internship level software engineer, like almost like the cultural part of it is a little more important, because you're a new grad, or maybe, you have 2 or 3 years of college under your belt. We know you're not going to have like the greatest technical chops in the world. But as long as like those cultural tenets, like adhere to those, definitely. We don't do egos here. That like we like to see like a hunger and a willingness to learn, but also like the ability to just mention when you don't know something. And this might sound like a cop out, but we just like, just nice, cool guys and gals. That's probably for that level anyway, the most important thing.
No, I completely agree with you with that. And it's not just like software engineers, it's any like position, internship, or entry level position, like just being able to display those different values, depending on the position, having relevant experience, and just really wanting to learn, grow within the company, grow with the company. Just lots of different podium focus, just values and everything is very important in the interview process.
Yeah. And you had mentioned relevant experience, like any other, if you can, any little like outside projects that you can kind of like, maybe you have an uncle he needs help setting up an app or something, or you've got a, like, whatever it is, the more like just experience you can get under your belt and like throw into your GitHub or GitLab. I can't. It's been so long. I've been doing product design for the last 2 quarters. I'm a little out of it. In terms of languages, we're on the front end, we're React. On the back end, we're Elixir and Ruby.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For software engineers, is there like a certain process, or I guess what is the process if I was to apply to a software engineering role? Like, is there a certain amount of rounds of interviews, or how does it work?
Yeah, certainly. So you have an initial screener with like a recruiter like me or one of my colleagues. We're just checking to see, does he cross off the cultural, does he match the cultural portion? Does he have the relevant experience? Does he know how to work in our tech stack? Just like real basic stuff. After that, usually there's another screener with an engineering manager, a little more technical. Again, just kind of like culture check, and they'll ask you, like, they'll kind of dig a little deeper with you, because as recruiters, we're just not the most technical people. Like we kind of,
unless you're Mo, then
you're too kind. Then after that, there's a kind of 3 interviews that are usually done in one round. There's a cultural interview, like a longer cultural interview. There's a cross-functional where you'll sit with an engineer and a product manager. Well, I guess let me back up. So here at Podium, we work in the Agile framework, which some of you probably know what that is. For those of you that don't, just, it's a highly collaborative environment, pretty fast-paced, where engineers, designers, and product managers work together holistically to ship products. So we want to make sure that you can play nicely with the other designers and product managers in the sandbox. And then there's a coding portion. Sometimes, and we kind of give you the option, some people choose to do like a live code pairing, or you can do a take-home code assessment and then bring it in and you kind of walk a designer through it. And then that's usually it. The whole thing takes, we could get you through as quickly as like a week and a half, 2 weeks max, typically.
It's pretty intense, but I love how Mo, we both started out as coordinators and worked our way up to recruiters. But just so intense how technical and engineers kind of do their interviewing. On the sales sides, it's a little easier. But so fun hearing it.
Yeah, going to sales.
Okay. For software interns, do you recommend people who have experience in different stacks or related similar to apply to Podium if they're interested?
Yeah, so Podium, we try to be like, we look for folks with solid coding chops. We're in that way, in terms of our hiring, we're a bit agnostic. Like relevant experience with the stack is always like a great bonus and the cherry on top. But if you're like the best coder ever in Java or Python or what have you, like, yes, definitely. Still feel free, apply.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you do have any other questions, these are our LinkedIns. Feel free to use your phone to kind of scan the different QR codes. Are these technically QR? Yeah, these are QR. Okay. As you can see, this is why I'm in sales. So, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. We'd love chatting with you more about different opportunities, anything that you have questions about. But yeah, connect with us, and then we're happy to connect you to the right recruiter if we're not the ones over the different positions or can answer you correctly, we're happy to connect you with the right individuals who are.
Hey, thank you both. Very awesome presentation. And I'll speak for all of us. We loved the tour. It was very authentic. You did a great
I know
job.
he did the best. Mo is just seriously so awesome. And I'm so glad that he was able to join us.
Yeah, no, we seriously loved it. Thank you. Thank you.